5 of the biggest political scandals in U.S. history. Hey all you cool crooks and killers, welcome back to True Crime Now, your #1 source on the internet for daily true crime videos. Seeing as this is an election year, we thought it would be a great time to discuss politics in a truly True Crime Now fashion. Today, we're looking at 5 of the biggest political scandals in U.S. history. Obviously, we're not going to get to every big political scandal in one video. We'd be here until the next election, but for now, let's dive into a few scandals that you may or may not have heard of. Number 5. Grover Cleveland's secret son. What comes to mind when you think of President Grover Cleveland? Some fun facts like he is the only president in the U.S. history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms, or that he was the second fattest president in history. How about the one where he had a woman committed to a psychiatric facility because she claimed to have birthed his son? Wait, what? That one didn't make it into the history books as far as I can remember. A woman named Maria Haplin claims that she was harassed nonstop for months by Grover Cleveland until she finally agreed to a dinner with him. Although it was more than scandalous in the 1800s to claim any misdeeds had happened on a first date, Maria strongly implied that they had contact of a sexual nature against her wishes, which resulted in a pregnancy. When she approached Cleveland 9 months later with a child, Cleveland had her committed to a psychiatric facility and had the child sent to an orphanage. The story broke nearly 10 years later during Cleveland's presidential campaign, but he strongly implied that it was a non-factual smear campaign before admitting that parts of the story were true. While Maria's primary objective was to regain custody of her son, she wanted everyone to know what the future president had done. Unfortunately, the story didn't gain much traction with the American public, and Cleveland was voted into the White House. The story was soon overshadowed and all but forgotten when Cleveland took a bride and became the first sitting president to be married in the White House to the youngest first lady in history. She was just 21 and Cleveland was 48 at that time. A 27-year age difference. Now, that could have been a scandal all by itself. Number 4. The Iran-Contra scandal. When Ronald Reagan was president, the biggest scandal that happened was the Iran deal. Not only was the Reagan administration secretly selling weapons to Iran, but they were also funding the Contra rebellion taking place in the South American country of Nicaragua. While there was an official ban on supplying weapons and ammunition to Iran already in place, the government at that time was attempting to release American hostages in a trade. The plan failed overall, and the lengthy trials that followed the ordeal destroyed many careers. It is widely considered the biggest black mark on the Reagan presidency, as there was only one hostage released by the time the deal was discovered by the public. Number 3. The Petticoat Affair. While this scandal may not seem to be such a big deal compared to some of the others on our list, it was still quite an ordeal at that time. Andrew Jackson, one of the more notable presidents in American history, had a scandal that has all but been forgotten by history. So obviously, we're gonna dive back into it. A member of President Jackson's cabinet, John Henry Eaton, got married to a woman named Margaret Timberlake after her first husband's suicide. The scandal comes later after it was revealed that John Eaton was actually having an affair with Margaret before her late husband's passing. You think extramarital affairs are a big deal now? Just think about discovering one in the 1830s. The entirety of the Jackson cabinet turned on Eaton, except for, that is, Jackson himself. Most of Jackson's cabinet resigned after this, causing a huge political upset. Even the vice president stepped down before President Jackson's second term. Martin Van Buren, who was in favor of the Eaton case and supported their marriage after the suicide, replaced John C. Calhoun, becoming the new vice president for the president's second term. What do you think of this video so far? Because we have plenty more where these came from. Make sure to give this video a like and let us know in the comments if you have any political scandals you'd like to learn more about in a future video. Number 2. Woodrow Wilson's engagement scandal. Woodrow Wilson is generally regarded by scholars as one of the better US presidents for playing a neutral role during World War I and for his involvement in the progressive movement. Although to a lot of people, he was considered quite the racist by allowing segregation until 1913. But that's not what this particular scandal is about. After Wilson's first wife, Ellen Louise, died in August 1914, Woodrow Wilson seemed to move on quite quickly with his new flame, Edith Galt. Rumors were even going around that Woodrow had his wife killed just so he could marry Edith Galt. These allegations proved to be likely and true, but the scandal never seemed to leave the public's mind. Heck, we're talking about it right now over 100 years later. While this may not seem like the biggest scandal by today's standards, at the time it was unprecedented for such a short time frame to pass before a president remarried, and especially so publicly. Alright, let's finish strong on a more recent scandal that the whole world knows about. Number 1. The Monica Lewinsky scandal. Bill Clinton was in his second presidential term when it was revealed that he was involved sexually with one of his interns named Monica Lewinsky. Apart from denying the accusation, he was infamously quoted in late January 1998 saying, "I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky." This all turned out to be false, of course, because on August 17th of that same year, Clinton gave an interview claiming that inappropriate physical relationship had indeed occurred between the two. This led to a famous impeachment charge that was later dismissed even though the Senate majority was Republican at the time. The whole scandal itself damaged the Democratic Party for years to come and became a staple joke in the media. Some believe that this affair has even affected Bill's wife, Hillary Clinton's 2 attempts to become the president decades later. It's hard to say, but what is for sure is that this incident has forever left its mark in the minds of the American people. Well, there you have it, folks. 5 of the biggest political scandals in US history. Let us know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Make sure to subscribe and turn on that notification bell for more true crime videos every day. We'll see you next time, and until then, don't be embarrassed to sleep with the lights on.